Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. You know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Welcome to August 10th. We're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaler real estate. Where your cash or credit doesn't matter. It is Kelly Wednesday. She's here in the background, so she's on the live stream with
a little bit of better introduction than that.
But she's in the house, and so we're here to get it in. Talk about this thing called wholesaler real estate with real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaler real estate, where your cash or credit doesn't matter. Did you start recording? Okay. How's it going, Kelly?
It's going great. We've been making some good accomplishments these last few days. I feel like.
I agree.
Checking out some stuff on to-do list.
Yeah. So, guys, today's topic is basically just partnering on commercial real estate. So you see the thumbnail, maybe if you didn't, but we'll talk about that a little later on. But to join us on the live stream, text the word Gator to the number, and that'll get you pushed to the front of the line. Text the word Gator to 205-964-5243. And that'll get you pushed to the front of the line. What we got? The contract. We need this is a superpower. This is the paperwork to get you going in the right direction. Not only if you text the word contract, you're going to get access to the contract for free to use it as much as you want. You're going to also get instructional videos on how to fill it out for sellers and buyers, which is very important, along with getting it signed virtually, basically electronically. So text the word contract. What else we got? Need to set up your LLC, establish some business credit. Text BIZ to the number, and the folks over at PCS hook you up on that. I hadn't been promoting this lately. People, they normally are asking for virtual assistants, do some cold calls, some other tasks for them. Set up your appointment and keep it. Text the word scale to the number 205-964-5243. We'll get you over to the right individuals there to give you an opportunity to schedule an appointment so you can get a consultation to see what fits your needs as far as getting that, getting your own workforce for little nothing.
I caught that last name. Keep it. Keep the appointment.
Oh yeah, they got to keep the appointment, man. They make the appointment, don't keep it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, share, like, follow on all the different platforms, so we can keep this CONTENT going. That fucking spell. What else we got? The times. Monday through Wednesday. 3:45-ish p.m. On Thursdays, 8:05-ish p.m. is when we start on Thursdays. And last thing but least, step by step, I got a lot of videos out there, but these videos will sort of get you going in the right direction, all for free. Everything is free, but this helps organize the steps that you need to take. So text VIP to the number 205-964-5243. And we're ready for questions.
All right. Everybody's saying hello.
Hello.
Let's see.
Hello.
Joseph Wilson from YouTube said one of the biggest U.S. housing crashes is coming soon. Will the repair costs go down as well?
I would first like to know where you got the data from the biggest houses crashes coming soon. I personally don't believe that, just from my involvement in the real estate market. Is there a correction? We're already undergoing a correction, which I saw that going, 2020, just because it couldn't sustain itself the way we were moving. So I guess I would like to know your data where you suggest that there's the biggest housing crash. Um, but what was the second part of that, Jesse? Oh.
Will the repair costs go down?
No. So it is one thing that you have to understand about this economy. There is at no point of time, whenever there's a price increase, that it ever went down. Just I don't know. When I started driving, like I'm still young, but when I started driving, it took me like 97 cents, maybe $1.07 to fill up a gallon to fill up my tank. And we have never seen that gas price ever again, because once it starts going up, it doesn't go back down. Now I know gas prices skyrocketed for a little bit and it went down a little bit to kind of correct itself, but for the most part, whenever the price of materials and the housing costs and things like that, um, whenever those things start going up, they never really come back down. When it's up, it's up. When inflation takes place, that's where it is. Now there may be a small correction or a little bit of a correction, unless there is some type of, market where they lose most of their job forces and that area becomes depressed. But as a market, as a free market is concerned, whenever prices are the price, it stays up. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that if you're, I don't know, but just from what I think, what happened back in 08, 09, late 07, that was self-inflicted. The real estate market caused the entire economy to be affected. This time around, banks and lenders were a lot smarter, so they didn't make the type of loans that they made before. Yeah, they're going to get some foreclosures because of COVID and people losing incomes or whatever, but it won't be in the same way that it was before. It'll be more of a drip process, more accustomed to what they're used to. It will reduce the prices of houses because they got ridiculous or whatever. But at the same time, I assume, and we'll see, we'll know, that it will be some benefit from those escalation, because those are still numbers. And so, but the main thing is that, it gets down to a lot of times people afford houses based on how much their monthly payment will be. And so that's where the interest rate comes into play, obviously down payments or whatever. So that's the biggest thing. So it'll slow things down, but I don't know if there'll be a per se crash, because before, you can't compare before to now. But again, we don't know. We'll see.
All right. The first question on Instagram: Hey, Flip, is it worth to have transactional funding in your network, and how does pricing work?
So is it worth to have a transactional funding in your, I guess, resources or whatever? Yeah, I guess always you want to have as many bullets in the gun as possible, because you never know when that may be something that you'll use. But if that's your game plan as far as the way you transact deals, then of course. But you want to have as many lending sources as possible, or sources to money as possible, because you never know what type of deal you may encounter that may require something of that nature in order for you to have an exit strategy. So to answer your question, yeah, it won't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything to have one in your network.
All right. This is also on Instagram. How do you determine the ARV?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's say I think he has a card for that.
Go ahead, though.
After repair value, so you take the. Some people use it a couple of different ways, but how I teach it is, you take your comparables, which is the comp values, and you determine the after repair values of each of those comps. So if there's fixed up, the most retail, so usually it's MLS, fixed up, move-in ready, market values. You want to take your highest three that are in a 0.5 radius. Now it determines on how populated the metropolitan area is, but anywhere between 0.25 to 0.5. You may even have to go out a mile, but don't go over major highways. So as a distance and as a radius, and then you want to go back at least 90 days, y'all. 90 days. We're not going to be looking at things there 6 months or 12 months ago. 90 days, unless it's land. But if it's a house 90 days ago, that is within a 0.5 to a 0.25 to 0.5 mile radius, that has a 15% range plus or minus of the square footage of your subject property, and is the same property type. You want to take those, once you get that data, you want to take the top 3 of those move-in ready houses and divide it by the average, which is 3, and that is your ARV.
Boom. I have a detailed video also on process that I'll go through on it. So text ARV to the number 205-964-5243. That video will explain. You probably want to actually, well, it doesn't matter what order you watch it in, but you can watch this video here because at the end of the day, that's what the reason that you're trying to determine the ARV is whether you have a great deal or not. So the GD stands for great deal. Most people fail in this business because they never figure out what a great deal is or not. So text GD to the number also. Those 2 videos will get you, should get you going.
All right, this one came from Apostle Sam Martin on Facebook. He said, "Good evening, good peace. There are some properties I would like to get into in New Mexico where housing is in demand, but rentals are sparse. I need your help. How could you help him?"
He wants to get into some property.
I guess the first way is we could you could look and see who if you got deals already in queue there, because he's a buyer, right? He's looking to buy something from New Mexico, right?
Yeah, you always well, it may not always, but I'm assuming we got to be a little bit more specific too. You know, only city I know of in New Mexico is Albuquerque. So I'm sure there are others, but I'm assuming that's one of the larger metro areas in that state. So have to be a little bit more specific on what you're doing. So getting them piece of the property, I would like to get them in a warehouse and band around. Yeah, so I'm assuming you got some resources to spend. So number one, you got to determine that price point, what type of cash flow you want to try to generate, what type of return you want to try to generate, and then obviously what areas are your target. So once that happens, then we can give you some advice on how to generate leads there. But I've gotten quite a few since I've been doing the Google AdWords for land. I've got quite a few land deals that were normally just squares, and what that means is in the desert. So like it might not even be road access to it or whatever. So it's sort of weird, but well, weird to me anyway. But yeah, you got to identify the cities first.
All right. I know you're gonna answer this later because this has to do with the topic, but they said, what commercial buildings are you looking for?
Yeah, we'll answer that in the later on when we address the topic later on. So.
All right, this came in from Instagram. What about the rental rates? How do I understand that part?
Oh, that's a good question. Rentcast is a really good website. If you use like are you affiliated with? It's probably a good one to get affiliated with. But how you determine the rent rates is so a easy, quick resource is Zillow. So if you put like the street, if you have an address, you can go into Zillow, or if you even have the city, go into Zillow, put that in the search. And then on that little drop down where it says for sale sold and in the purple says rent, you want to make sure it says rent. And then you want to look at all those little bubbles that pop up around your subject property to determine what the market rent is. And again, you want to use your comparable to your subject property. So you want to make sure that is like the same bedrooms, the same square footage. Like you want to make sure it's comparable and it's within a certain mile radius of it. And you can take the top 3 to determine what your average rent rate would be, or your market rent rate for the area. Now, another good resource to have, though, is to have a really good property manager in the area. Property managers, you can like just go to Google and like say property manager or rent homes for rent in and whatever your city is. and it'll take you to the top sites that have listings for rentals, and you can just go on there and look at what they currently have listed and what they've recently rented on those websites, and that will help you as well to determine what a good rent rate would be. And you want to use that to kind of determine what your gross income, and then once you know your expenses, your NOI would be, your net operating income.
All right. This is on TikTok. What platform do you guys highly recommend to come?
Okay. Well, this video here is going to be a demo of using Dealulator, aka PropStream. So this video is going to break that down for you. So text the letters ARV to it. But to access that, and you could text the word tool along with that. If you sign up through Dealulator for PropStream, then we offer free training on how to actually use it. So once you watch this video, the ARV video, text the word tool to the number. You can sign up for it. And then it gives the instructions there. So you don't have to pull that card out. So text the word tool and it'll give you the instructions on how to, number one, sign up for it, but also how to get the free training on how to use it. So if you sign up through Dealulator, if you don't sign up through Dealulator, hey. So.
All right, this is on Instagram. How far into the training program will I start to be able to lock in on a property?
Well, if you're talking about if you're going through the paid version of what I offer, which I always recommend, guys, I ain't turning down no money if you know me, but I like to make sure, because it's a pet peeve when people said, I could have got all this for free. That means you made a purchase without doing your homework, right? So, but anyway, text the letters VIP. These videos will get you going, right? You still need to probably watch more. Some people get it just watching these 10. It's like 21 videos there, but the first 10 videos are really like real. Really dive into the entire process. Now, but to answer your question, assume you bought the actual product, then you need to go through the entire product, right? You don't read half the ingredients and then think you're going to come out with a perfect cake or jambalaya, whatever, fish and grits or whatever. You got to read the whole recipe, and if you've never done it before, so you need to consume it all. I got a small secret for you. If you ever want to succeed at anything, it goes a long way if you simply know what to do. If you have it, then it's probably going to end up that way. This don't work. No, it works. You just didn't do your initial part to get that educational foundation to know what to do. I'm just saying.
Stay consistent in your studies.
Well,
treat it like a tuition. Like you don't want to give your tuition away.
and also, it's training you to be patient also. Because you have to have a high degree of patience dealing with real estate, period. Don't care what you're doing, right? And so training yourself, you're developing that slowly also. Now, I'm not the only game in town by no means. My teaching style ain't for everybody or whatever. So, but for me personally, I know if I don't have any money to pay for someone that's offering this stuff out there, again, I'm not the only game in the town, but if anybody has more content out there for free than me, please let me know on this particular topic or whatever. So
can I say I'm officially the number one student, right? Literally the very first one.
I can't
I am.
Confirm that, but it's close.
I
can't confirm that, but it's close. Yeah.
I am. And I'll say what I took away, because I stuck with it I don't think I changed up at least for over 2 years before I even started. Bandit signs. Like you really, when you teach, you keep it super simple. You don't give people all this extra to get distracted from. So it's just like super simple. So if you start trying to add, what if I can do this? What if you'll be the first one.
So that's how I got your name in my phone.
Oh, yeah. What does J and K mean?
Junkers, but initially it wasn't.
I'm like,
it wasn't Flip Man. It was.
oh, it was.
It was Junkers 101.
Junkers, yep.
And I got the term Junkers
Yeah.
from Ron LeGrand. He says
yeah.
I don't know if he still says that in his training, but he used to use the phrase junker. Oh, it's a junker or whatever. But meaning you can still make money off of it. But he would just describe the property. So the training and the initial, which is still up, but it just mirrors everything else. Junkers101.com. So when I got a new student in there, I would put their like JNK in there, period, Kelly, and I spelled that wrong, I think. And then I put the month and the year that she signed up with was July 09. Yep. So so that's how I still have a number in my phone. I guess I could change that.
That's when I got started. And I would say like so when your coach or your mentor is giving you one thing to do, and that's because that's what works for them, don't try to add on stuff until you conquer and you've been successful at that one thing. Even if the people are doing it certain ways, just conquer and be successful at that one thing. And whenever you make, your first 10 grand or your first 100 grand, like write down what you want to do or what you're going to add to the process, or what you want to be coached on after you made some money, but only focus on that one thing that your mentor is telling you to do. And I think that really will help people when they're going through, courses and things, because they want to start piling on more things. Well, keep it super simple, keep it straight to the point, make money on that one thing, and then move on to the next.
Boom.
All right. This one came from Jay the Hard Way. He said, when attempting to get a motivated seller of vacant land, do you still have to give them a transaction fee or give them cash?
He said a motivated. So he's basically asking, is the process different when dealing with someone with land? Mm-hmm. No. It may be even easier, once if you got a seller and a buyer in place, because of land doesn't have to be shown in a lot of cases, unless the seller lives next door or is fenced. The buyer can go and do their research at their own leisure. You don't have to schedule a time to meet them out there or whatever. You could, but you really don't have to or whatever. And so if it's getting to that point of a seller and a buyer, it's going to be different than a house in a lot of cases. But once you have both in place, it's beautiful or whatever. So, it's really no different in that sense. Once you got both in place. I'm assuming I'm answering the question. That's the way you understood it.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, that collard rice is kicking. Oh, I'm hungry.
I'm sorry.
No, it ain't bad. I'm just hey.
All right. This one says, are leased commercial buildings a good deal? And do you have contracts for them? And can I conduct business as a bird dog to the owner?
Okay, so you say leased?
Commercial buildings. Are they good deals?
That's too broad. I don't know what they're asking.
I can offer, obviously we would need to know numbers if it's a good deal, but you can absolutely arbitrage that. So like event spaces, people that are looking for event spaces, you can lease that out, lease the initial property out from someone, and then create an event space, and then lease it out by the day, by the month. It's kind of like an Airbnb, right? Like how they do Airbnb arbitrage. Even for like gyms, like you can, even if you not want to actually run your own gym, but of some trainers that want to start their own gym, but maybe they don't have the access to funds to go buy their own facility, you can get it set up for them and then lease it out to them to utilize and start their own gym, and you are in it for whatever the lease payments are, and they just pay you for a fully furnished gym or training center. So there's a lot of different ways that you can arbitrage land. I would say start looking at it as how Airbnb people arbitrage, like take apartments and then furnish it and then have other people come and stay short term. You can do the same thing for commercial buildings as well, but it just has to make sense. Like, what is something that people still need brick and mortars for? It was like 3 other questions. I don't know, or 2 other questions. I don't know what it was. Did we answer all the questions? Did we?
Do you have a contract for them?
Oh no, I don't.
All right, this question came in from TikTok. How do you guys feel about red tape houses? Tag houses, sorry.
The what? Red tag house.
Mhm.
Now that's market specific. I'm assuming, but I'm assuming that's a demo situation where it's on the demolition list.
Or a city violation.
Yeah. So those could be potential opportunity. There should be some motivation there, but you know how people have just junk cars in the yard. People have junk houses. That I'm gonna fix that one day. I'm gonna fix that one day. I'm gonna fix that one. Just yeah, just okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jacksonville, a red tag house in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Get the owner name, send it over to me. That's a
Jacksonville
good
got
market.
they got some hoods down there, Jacksonville, man.
That's like the biggest. That's the fastest growing city in the U.S.
Oh, really? Okay, J Town. That's what's up. That was yeah.
Oh, that's
Is
me.
that a dog?
No, that's me. I'm hitting something.
Y'all don't play that. Oh boy.
All right, this person on Instagram said, "How can I get in contact with you?"
Oh, you can get in contact with me at follow me on Instagram, Kels KELSALLWAYS, and send me a DM.
All right.
Oh yeah, I usually have it on the screen. I don't have it this.
Yeah. Well, it's on Instagram anyway, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. But I guess she'll put it up there.
Okay, this says. Okay, this one says I used to see bandit signs in my area here in Oakland, California,
Oaktown.
but now I don't. Should I put some up or try another way, like Facebook?
Well, now when you say in your area, now that's a vast area when you can include San Francisco, that Bay Area. I can't answer why you see them, used to see them, and don't. When you say you used to see them, were they up for weeks, months, or because that'll factor in. But most definitely, you want to take advantage of it. I know a couple of people out there, and they definitely say they exist or whatever. So, but a lot of times when you talk about bandit signs now, in a lot of situations, you have to get outside of your comfort zone, especially if you live in the suburban areas of a particular city or even maybe downtown. Normally, it's hard to get away with them in those areas. You can still be a little creative and put them out on freeway exits and exit ramps and things of that nature. But normally, you can get away with bandit signs in the areas. We'll just say the C and D areas of a particular market. Normally, the A and B areas is more difficult to get away with them. Normally you're wasting your money and time. They go up one day, they come down the next. And those things are too expensive, too much labor to put them out or whatever. So you don't want that. But with any of it, you don't want, if you order 200 signs, you want to test. You want to put out 20 signs, wait a few days, see how many of those up. If most of those are still up, compound. If most of them are down, you need to find another area or whatever. But you want to test. So that first 200, the signs that you purchase, which is my recommendation on a minimum. 100 is the minimum. 200 starting is an idea. It's going to really just be testers in reality. Hopefully you can get some deals out of it. I was very fortunate when I started. Only 50 signs produced the first deal or whatever. Matter of fact, I had a couple out of I think that's what out of new. I'm sorry, what am I saying? North Carolina. I'm trying to say New Carolina. North Carolina. I think they only put out like 4 signs and got like a 5-figure deal out of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not normal though. I can just tell you what I did is not normal. What they did is not normal or whatever. So normally you have to have more than that to stay out to generate enough activity to generate deals. A lot of people don't like to do bandit signs or whatever, and I get it, because they technically are. There are ordinances against those. I got another. That's a better way of saying they're illegal. When I say ordinances, but they work because just think about the mindset of a bandit sign. When someone calls you because they seen a message of yours, you're half the way there on the deal. It's just now the numbers have to work. They want to sell, you want to buy, right? So you have to wait there. There's no, hey, how did you get my number and all this crazy stuff? You know, they have to wait there or whatever. So that's why they're effective, and you're taking advantage of thousands, well, depending on the market. We'll assume like Oakland, you're taking advantage of thousands of eyeballs of people seeing your message on a daily basis. That's powerful, especially for a $2 or $3 sign or whatever. Because you know, that's why billboards exist. Now, billboards and signage outside, period, is not as effective as it used to be in one sense, because now when people stop at stop signs and traffic light, what's the first thing they do? They pick up their phone. Now, on the flip side of that, because they do have their phone, if they do see your message, it allows them to now call you immediately. When I started back in 03, everybody didn't have a, back then they called them car, I think, well, we may have graduated from that, but they were still calling them car phones, I think. We weren't far off of it. Yeah, people would trip on you back in the day, not that far back. But even though, girl I was dating back in college had, when we ran that thing up, it was $700 bill. The first one, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so but back then, if you didn't have a car and had a phone, people thought you were crazy. Mm-hmm. Like now, if you don't have one, everybody has one. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't have a car, you had a phone, they thought you were crazy. Like, how do you have a car phone and you don't even have a car? You walking or whatever. So anyway, I digress.
All right. Let's see.
I'm old, and goddamn, boy.
I mean, I feel like I already knew what it was talking about.
Oh boy.
I mean, my very first phone, you couldn't even text from it.
I feel like I was there when you was just speaking about it. I could just see somebody pulling out a big old phone.
No. It was beyond that. It was beyond that.
It was a
the car phone was lit. They was like, they were square. You know what I'm saying? They're all
actually
analog.
had a receptor where you actually put the phone back on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really still even talking about when they went to the actual phone that wasn't attached to a car, though. I'm saying, like, it had graduated from the bag, whatever. But, you had the phone, but it still was taboo that you didn't have it still was titled a car phone per se. The pager still was somewhat in effect or whatever. And I remember meeting these guys in the casino one time, story time. And we said they was so excited. I'm like, man, what's going on? They just betting crazy, didn't matter. They were losing. They said, man, we just closed the deal. They were from Birmingham, but I was in Mississippi. And they had just closed sold their pager company. It was a pager company right over there in Homewood. I forget what the name of it was, but they just had sold it for $5 million. Their pager company to a company in Jackson, Mississippi, or whatever. And they was on their way back to Birmingham. They just stopped into the concern by the casino or whatever. Man, that was an amazing exit, because I guess if you were in the pager business back then, you just naturally transitioned to cell phones, as it was at that time. Of course, you have to use big corporate. But anyway, so
do doctors still use pagers, or are they all cell phones now?
That's a good question.
I just thought about that.
I think they only use them when they're in the facilities. Nurses, doctors. I know we got some nurses and medical professionals out there that can answer that. Is it just that you use them when you're inside the facility, or they just how does that work now? Because it's just more of an alert thing than anything, So.
All right. This one says, "Hello, Footman and family. When you're considering a commercial deal, you mentioned that they should be by a freeway. What about a high traffic area, and what would you want the traffic count to be?"
Well, okay, so we really ain't ready to go into that. But I'm gonna answer that question though. I'm gonna answer that question because it's so specific. I guess we can just go on and answer the thing regardless. So all right. Commercial is vast. We have a little game plan that we're working on here. And I have an interview with a self-storage expert that if I can, I'm pretty sure I'll get it out this weekend or whatever. So look out for it. Like just really good. He has a YouTube channel, just so much information, man. But I'm bringing that up because if you would ask me that question before I interview him, even though I knew I was going to interview him, I would have had a different answer. So, but to start with the freeway thing, ideally, that's the first objective. A property, but it still has to have a lot of space. Land is okay, but really not looking for that per se. It'll be better if it's a property, like sometimes Walmarts and Kmarts, properties of that size were and are by freeways, right? Because it's just, they normally just gonna have really good real estate locations, even if they're out of business now. Normally that's just how it worked or how it works. They normally have really good real estate locations. And normally with a freeway exit, if it's close to, if you can see the freeway from the property, normally it's going to be in play. But the main thing is what we're looking for right now is something with a significantly sized parking lot, right? So normally those buildings, those 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 square feet buildings come with 4 or 5 acres of just nothing but parking, right? That's like number one. All right. So, but now it doesn't need to be just that building and it's a shopping center, but that space is vacant. No, the entire property needs to be vacant. All right. So that's number one. If you come across something industrial that has a similar description, that you have the industrial or warehouse building and it has a lot of parking space, like 4 or 5 acres of parking, that's going to be in play. Now, those don't have to be near the freeway or whatever, but ideally, if it's in a city, if it's in a heavily dense, populated city, then it's cool that it's not next to the freeway. But if it's in a rural area, it's gotta be next to a freeway exit. Like you can see the freeway from the property. It has to be if it's in a rural area or somewhat outside of a metro area or city or whatever. So those are going to be like the parameters right now that we're looking for. Now, one of the students last night, she sent over a property. It's only like an acre. It used to be I forgot this. Now, you'll see some automobile dealerships that are vacant. So they'll have the building for the sales team, maybe even for service or whatever. But normally they have to have a lot of parking space, not a used car lot, like an auto dealership that may have been a former Chevrolet or Suzuki or Mitsubishi, Toyota, whatever. So they normally going to have a lot of space as far as parking because they had to have the cars just to sit out there. Now, one of those will be in play normally. Those are in really good locations as far as a piece of real estate because they normally try to get that free eyeball traffic to see, hey, we got a dealership here. Normally they don't like a dealership row or whatever. You're going to have multiple dealerships. You may have the same guy that owns all of them or whatever. You know how that goes. Well, so those will be in play also. Am I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything. I was just going to add something. A good starting point, especially in rural areas. Look up gas stations. If there's any vacant commercial areas off of ramps, exit ramps, or things like that near a gas station, that might be something that'll be a good fit.
Well, something else I missed. Well, when the video comes out, it'll make more sense about the self-storage thing. But got something I was gonna say about that. Yeah, I already have the stuff out there about the self-storage. If you text the word units to the number, that video will explain. So text units, UNITS, to the phone number. That video will explain. I find it. So, but I think we answered the topic for today. Oh, here it is. Units. Yeah. Text units, and I have a little video to explain this right here. So, boom.
All right. This person on TikTok said they used your agreement to lock up their first property on Thursday, and they closed on the 19th.
Akuma Matata.
All right. Back to Bandit sign. This person asked, can your logo be used on the sign?
Waste of space.
If you're going to put any type of anything on there other than the number, it should be a QR code that takes them to a website.
Mm-hmm. The QR code is good, but just a little pushback on that, Kelly. The majority of the people that own real estate are baby boomers, and that may be a little bit complicated for them. Yeah, so if you're going to use it, if you got a website, you don't have, it's not necessary. Just go ahead and put the website name there. That's part of the reason why it'll be so important to choose a really good name or whatever. I don't know how many. I wonder how many words are in the English language. You know, Oksana. But
With these new rappers, we're gonna keep making up songs.
Well, that too. So being creative, the shorter the better on your domain name or website name, the better. You know,
Is this on a business card or a bank?
on the bandit sign. That's what they said, a bandit sign or business card. Yeah. Yeah, bandit sign. Yeah. Yeah. If you're trying to put logo, that's wasted space. You have to keep in mind now, you have people that are trying to read your message from a distance, and they ain't looking for it, right? So the more stuff you put on it, the harder it is to see what you're trying to convey. That's why you see most people use We Buy Houses, right? And phone number, call or text, maybe even a website. So that's why, because you're dealing with just a small area, is just the signage or whatever, and it just makes it more difficult. So keep it simple. I know you want to be different from everybody else. I get it. But in reality, everybody else is helping you, because a lot of people don't know the difference in your sign or the next sign. So they just know what that means when they see it. You know what I'm saying? Is that, hey, I need to get rid of this house. Mama dead. We ain't finna do that with this house. I'm tired of them. They call you. Boom.
Yeah, no, I mean, the reason why they say, like you said, the reason why the We Buy Houses work is because if you're walking past your sign and it takes you longer than 6 seconds to read it, then just know that no one else will be able to read it that fast either. So keep it super short. And used to, when I would try to get marketing numbers for the bandit sign, I would always try to find numbers that would repeat inside of the number. So I would try to find 6688 or 99, 5, if it was available, something that they could look and see, and it will be it'll be something that they can remember quickly.
All right, this question came in on Instagram. What do I need to say if I find a good deal? I'm listening to you. So.
Oh, they mean like a script?
Yes.
We got that too. Let me see, that's wrong. Here we go. Boom, right there. Oh, text the word script to the number, and that video will break all of that down for you, right? What to say, right? Boom.
Back on TikTok, when can we sign up to take a class?
Wow. Again, I'd like to let you know that it is free. All you got to do is text VIP to the number 205-964-5243. But you just got to spend some money. You just got to. You can't. Hey, it's burning. You won that lottery last week, 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, that too. That too. Right here, flipman.net.
This one says.
You got to spend some money. Hey.
I want to ask you.
I already had prop training before I knew about the training with Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way I can get the free training?
Well, I don't want to say that because you know what I'm saying. Because I don't want to say that. Well, no, they cancel that one. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say that, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's a good idea. But I don't want to say that because I don't. Yeah, that too. Oh yeah, yes, sir. I am Michael. Yes, sir.
All right.
Is there Bush hanging out or?
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to have your camera and your mic turned on. They never did that.
Oh.
This one says, is it all right to partner with you on vacant commercial real estate in the suburbs or rural areas?
As I mentioned before, with the rural areas, it needs to be off a freeway exit, right? Like, I don't know where you are, but your I-65s, your I-10s, your I-55s, your I-95s, all anything with I in front of it needs to be right off the exit, right? Ideally, though, it needs to have a lot of acreage. Like I say, it could be a former car dealership, or maybe even a truck stop. You have mom and pop truck stops that close all the time, or whatever. Even a Walmart, like I said, Kmart, Office Depot may be closed, Toys R Us, all of those businesses, stuff that you just thought would never close. Sears.
Well,
Sears would normally anchor
'cause
with
it's
a mall.
outside of a mall.
They normally were anchored on a mall or whatever. Sometimes you have these entire malls closed. Those could be in play also. I think about it now with Central Plaza, it stayed vacant for all of those years. And then Amazon bought it. It stayed vacant. How long do you think Central Plaza has been vacant? Just 10? Well, I know you be measuring stuff by grade. When the last time you went in there? So when the last time you had went there that you can remember?
I mean, that's what I was about to say, 20, because maybe like second grade.
Huh?
Yeah. Like, 20 years that's a long time ago. Last time I went to
No, it wasn't closed that long, was it?
Yeah. That's the last one over when I was in fifth.
It wasn't?
No.
I remember the Applebee's was still trying to hang on. Remember that? It was, hey, the whole mall was almost closed. Applebee's was, because that was people like to go. See, we would go there before we would go to the Galleria when I was in college, because it was closer. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. Oh, they lost money. Now, I don't know who owned it. I don't know what they paid for it, because it changed hands a few times. But it just was it's a major piece of real estate because of the proximity of where it's located. But it stayed vacant all of those years. And I didn't, I don't know what I know now, but,
I know Mercedes on for a while because.
Yeah, they used it for parking.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They used it to store vehicles in transition.
Yeah.
For a couple of years. Yeah, they had security. They had security out there. Yeah.
Have you all heard about the Galleria? They're trying to approve it for a hospital instead of the mall.
Yes, that's going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to do the whole thing. You got that entire Sears complex. They're trying to sell that for like some ridiculous number. I forget, it's 8 figures. Just the Sears part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I keep wondering what can go in those Sears. The only thing I keep thinking about is like distribution and warehousing. Like
but they're not going to combine that retail. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do that in that. I'd be amazed if they would do anything like that right there, because that's what built who.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's add Eric to the chat.
There he is.
They closed the Sears part in our mall as well in Hickory, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Who bought it? What do you know what's going in there?
I don't really know. Man, this like my third time on one of y'all videos, man, in the past year probably. I've been in a lot of transition and moving, and I just had a major breakup after 5 years, and man, I've been going through a lot, man.
What a relationship, boy, ain't
I'm
what
trying to learn how to make money, man.
Wait a minute, I wasn't gonna say that. Don't. I was
Did you say flip, man?
I said those relationships ain't worth 50 cents.
Man, I know, Sam, man. That's crazy though, right? That you said that, man. I just wasted like 5 years, man. It's crazy, man.
Let me give you a woman's advice. Aren't you glad that you now have wholesale real estate? Because there ain't nothing better about getting out of a relationship with making a lot of money.
Yeah, I definitely want to learn how to make a lot of money.
No, you want to be honest,
story,
man. You want your girl back, man. Screw this money.
Oh nah, bro. Like nah, she messed around with somebody that I was cool with. So, yeah, man. And I was faithful too, bro. So I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, man. It's good you can joke about it. So what you got going? What city are you in now?
I'm in Hickory, North Carolina.
Oh, you said that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what is that near? You give me what's the closest largest city?
Greensboro, Charlotte, Winston-Salem.
Okay, you in that area. Okay, all right, that's what's up. Okay.
We might need you. You need to send it your. We might need you on something that we got going on out there in North
How
Carolina.
far is was that North Carolina? That was in Tennessee.
That was in North Carolina.
That
That was near Winston Salem.
Oh, it's
I'm
somewhere.
I'm like 45 minutes from Winston-Salem.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Text me on the number. Let me. I know it's you. Just tell. Yeah, I know it's you. Yeah.
Text you on your number, Flip Man, the 205 number.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, man. Good hearing from you.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man.
Same here, sir.
Did you have a question?
Man, nah. I just want to. When I talk to Flip Man, I'm just break everything down to him, man. Like what I need, what I need, and what he can show me, whatever.
I'm gonna start this relationship channel here soon, so
I don't know who's gonna moderate it.
I don't need no moderation. I'm moderating. I don't need no moderation.
Yeah, man.
I'm just messing. Yeah, but yeah, just hit me up, man, and like I said, we might need your eyeballs up there in that area.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, E.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing get you fired up and talk.
Oh, man. Oh, them self-inflicted wounds, boy, them decisions that change your whole life. See, that's why I want to, let me share something else with y'all. So there's two reasons why I want to get a tattoo, right? And there's two reasons why I want to get a tattoo is, number one, I have one medical rule. No unnecessary pain. All right. So that's unnecessary pain I got to go through. Number two is I might change my mind. I don't like that anymore. You say, well, I ain't gonna change my mind. I say, well, let me share something what most people can relate to. I'm sure you've been so in love with this person before. Some of y'all got kids by and stuff, and now you can't. Well, if you could get away with it, you'll chop their head off. If you get, meaning you despise them that much, right? So my point is, see how your mind can change. I'm talking about you and the from color purple, you would drink their bath water, but now if they were on fire, you wouldn't pour bath water on them. You know what I'm saying? So that might be what I feel with a tattoo. I know they can remove it, but that's more pain, right? You know what I'm saying? So those two things don't matter. Not saying people that got them, I'm just talking about me. I just thought I'd bring that up or whatever. We're going to the next. I'm a lame anyway. Huh? It don't hurt. That first poke. I'll be like, oh. Hey, I'm up in it when I get my feet done at the thing and stuff, and I can't even handle when they start scrubbing. I'm sitting up there tickled on that, so I can imagine. I just nah. I'm a whip for some pain, man. I'll be ready to call my mama. Well, ask the question. Well, define single. Am I married? No. So that what I'm saying. So yeah, ain't nobody. I'm grown, man. I'm grown. Huh? What is it? Oh yeah, Bristol put that in there. She said, "This is not a lunch, sir." I said, "That's what time I try to eat is after 4." So okay, yeah.
Ooh, I actually know. Are they active duty? Okay, I'll just say, if you are active duty, do you know that you can apply to get a VA loan every year that you're active? So if you can go and find, and they will fund up to 4 doors. So if you can go and find a property every year that you're active military, you can use your VA loan for that. So you would basically go and find a property. Now with the VA loans, your property, the value add would have to be more cosmetic because you have to have running water and electricity. But you can use your VA loan to buy fourplexes every year. That's how I would use it. If I had a VA loan, I would go and every year that I'm active, I would go and buy a fourplex every year. It really depends on. I think the last time I checked, I know that someone was eligible up to like 450, but I think it changes. And also based on if you're like your disability, you can qualify up to 100% financing. But talk to a realtor. I know most people don't like, but talk to a realtor because in that particular area that you're looking, they're gonna know all the really good lenders that broker VA loans, and you want to talk to the lenders that really specialize in VA loans that are broker really great VA loans. I would advise against going with a mortgage broker that is not in the state that you're buying the property in, because they're not going to be able to get you the best rates. They say they will, but they won't. And usually they don't close on time because they're not familiar with each state's process. So I would definitely want you to get linked up with a realtor that has a preferred lender that is within your state that brokers VA loans, and talk to them about what you're looking to do. And then they can get you set up with a plan for each year that you're active. You can start identifying fourplexes and buy a fourplex every year.
And they follow back up with you on that. You're in Gwinnett County, Georgia.
So they are active duty?
Yeah, that's Atlanta.
Yeah, every year. If you should just now start to plan every year to buy a fourplex with your VA loan.
All right.
That's a question about the VA loan. Do they have to have? Do you just automatically get it regardless of your credit, or that's still factors? Or that's a dumb question?
No, it's definitely not a dumb question. No, like they want to make every effort to get a VA, a veteran, or active military, and a housing. Now it just affects your interest rates because historically or naturally, VA loans have a lesser interest rate than the national average, and then you can also buy down more with your points if you do not have a really great credit score. But there are a lot of leniencies and a lot of funding programs, veteran funding programs that try to help you get into VA programs. I'm not a mortgage broker, so I don't know. I don't want to get into the specifics because it'll be some speculations and it may change from state to state. But the biggest thing is to do your research, because I promise you, credit is not gonna matter. Credit score is not gonna matter as much.
Could you explain a little bit about buying points for those that don't know?
Oh, so if your interest rate, so like you can buy down your points by adding more cash up front. So let's just say you got quoted at like a 4% and you want your payment to be even less than that based on what the amortization, so like the 30-year, and they quoted you like a 4.0 fixed interest rate over 30 years, but you need your payment to be a little bit lower than that. And it may be because of your DTI. Maybe you found the house that you really want, but you have a little bit more cash, but your DTI, which is your debt to income ratio, says that you can't qualify for that loan. Well, maybe you just use a little bit more cash to buy down the points, which means that you buy down the interest rate. So maybe you could get your interest rate lower, which means your payments would be lower, which means that it will fit within the DTI guidelines. But again, speak with your lender, because everyone's file is going to look different, and they're going to be the person that really guides you on what your profile should look like before they pre-approve you.
Boom.
All right. This one says, what would constitute basically he's saying, how would you know that Airbnb would be ideal in a specific area?
So the free way is just to go to Airbnb or vrbo.com and just pull up the area that you're looking at doing your research in. So like if it was Birmingham, Alabama, I would go in and I would look at, I would even just go 2 weeks out and I would see what availability you have in the Birmingham area. If there's not a lot, then that may be an opportunity. If there's a lot, then I would do a little bit more research. And a way that you can also do some research is, this is kind of like the goose egg of Airbnb hosts, is they use AirDNA. AirDNA basically is like the Zillow of Airbnb. It gives you what's been rented over the last few months, years, what's the average cost, what's the occupancy rates. Like it gives you all this data that you can use. I know that they give you like a small trial period. I think they'll let you research like 1 or 2. And then after that, you do have to pay for the service. But AirDNA is a really good resource to find like analytics on specific areas for Airbnbs. Or just ask someone that is running a current Airbnb in different areas. I'm sure there's so many Facebook groups that would give you like a ton of free information.
All right, and someone who's a mortgage broker that's just commenting on the question before, they say credit is definitely a factor for a VA loan. Credit will 100% matter. They use 75% of assumed income to qualify even if the property is vacant.
But again, so again, find the right broker that can get you into the deals, because some brokers have an opportunity and you never know which VA vendor that they're using that may have some opportunities for you if you do have credit. And they can usually sometimes put you in credit programs if there are none available.
Did anybody answer the pager thing with the doctors? Just out of curiosity. And how many words in the English dictionary? English.
For the how many words are in the English dictionary?
In English language.
How many words are currently used a lot? Is about 172,000.
That's all?
Used a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, how many words are in the English dictionary? It depends on what source you're getting it from, and I got up to 600,000 words.
I would think, I would have thought more than that. I wouldn't, how many I know.
I'm about to say, I was just about to ask, how many do I know?
Yeah, that would be an interesting game show. You know what I'm saying?
But I do really good at Scrabble.
Yeah.
I do really good at Scrabble.
Okay, so it's 4 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
4:02 to be
Are you
exact.
serious?
I got a meeting at yeah. So at 5. So we got to round this up, guys. Thanks for everybody for showing up. Kelly in the house. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
When we went into detail about what we're looking for.
Okay.
So if you didn't get your questions answered, post it in the comment section of any video. We'll answer that. And I don't know what else to say, but hey, love who love you.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good.
love everybody. If they don't change your equipment for somebody else's performance.
If I had a daughter, I say, make sure, baby, you pick somebody that love you more than you love them.
That's a good one. I believe that one.
Yeah. Now that ain't always a good thing, because it can be crazy still. But we want to let that be the foundation of it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just tripping.
Now that one was a good one.
Arranged marriages only.
Oh,
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, it don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know.